We're going to learn how it all works. Why do wrinkles appear? Why do gray hairs appear? Why exfoliating your skin, which is something I say and people are surprised by, is bad for you. Exfoliating your skin makes you look older. Why cleaning your face with tap water isn't good for you. Why using olive oil, which some people think is natural in inverted commas and therefore good, actually isn't, and so on. I'm going to expose many myths related to rejuvenation and aging, as well as physical deterioration, or whatever you like to call it. You'll have all the info, and then each person can decide what they want to change. So, I want to reverse my graying hair, or I want to restore some structure to my face, or remove expression lines. We can do it all. What's more, we'll be doing everything in a very simple, straightforward way. This is all far easier and far simpler than what we've been told, because there's a lot of misinformation out there and many self-serving interests. This is simple, much simpler than it seems. When you have all of the info on why aging happens, and why everything that we're going to see next happens, right? And that's what this training session is all about, learning, so that you can decide. Often, we don't physically express ourselves as we would like to, but rather through the habits we've inherited from previous generations, from our parents, our grandparents. So, are we really expressing ourselves physically as we would like to? Or are we just aging in inverted commas as we've been told to? Ultimately, it doesn't come down to free will. It's like, well, I've got some DNA from my family. And that DNA, my subconscious, is using it for information systems that lead to gray hair, wrinkles, physical decline, etc. That's why here I'm offering a set of tools so that we can reverse these aging processes, to reverse the effects of aging, many of which can already be reversed. And we can do so easily, and without even using any products. I don't sell any products, nor do I have any endorsements. This is about something else, about the tools we can apply at home and which are free. I'm going to explain them, of course. I'm also going to discuss cosmetics. I'll talk about vitamins, and I'll cover many other topics too. The first thing I want to say is that obviously, aging, or physical deterioration, doesn't depend on the passage of time. Time has nothing to do with physical aging. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. That might surprise a lot of people, but that idea, which I'm going to analyze, apart from anything from a scientific point of view, and which you will see with your own eyes, that time has nothing to do with aging. That's one of the reasons, a belief that is imprinted in our DNA, and strongly imprinted, and that means it is activated, that your subconscious, our subconscious, is activated entirely on purpose. It's not accidental. Absolutely not. On purpose, the subconscious activates certain processes that we might call aging, such as, for example, a lack of collagen production or a reduction in collagen production. It's no coincidence, and it's not because the human body can no longer produce collagen indefinitely. It's because of certain subconscious information systems that are engraved in our DNA, which, at a certain time, that varies from person to person, some in their 30s, some in their 40s, others in their 50s. Collagen, for example, starts to decline in the human body. But it's not because we can't produce it. Rather, it's because our subconscious sends a very clear order to stop or reduce collagen production. But note, we tend to think this is accidental, but that's not true. It's also not true that the human body can't produce collagen. That is complete make-believe, just as it's make-believe and false that time deteriorates or ages us. Another myth that we'll destroy here. No cream and no cosmetic, no serum can rejuvenate one single bit. It doesn't matter whether the cream costs $5 or $1,000. It cannot rejuvenate. It doesn't have the ability to. Cosmetics cannot rejuvenate full stop. Why can't they rejuvenate? I'll explain that through this training session. The only thing they can do is help our energy not to deteriorate. Protecting it, that's one way to put it. And I'll be speaking in depth about cosmetics. In reality, cosmetics are the last resort, the very last thing to turn to. And how to use it won't take up more than 10% of this course. Using it, how we can put it, properly or in line with our DNA, because I won't be talking about what's correct and what's not. I will only discuss what's compatible with our DNA to keep us in tip-top physical condition. In that vein, there are cosmetics that are compatible with our DNA, and what they do is help protect our energy, but never rejuvenate it. Then there's another type of cosmetics, other cosmetics, where people say, there's a great $5 cream. Well, that cream costing $5 or $1,000, whatever, doesn't matter. Might even be doing you damage, aging you, and you will see that with exfoliation too. How many items and how many products for facial exfoliation are available? Hundreds. They're all lies. Exfoliation deteriorates and worsens our energy, but not because it isn't compatible with our DNA. This is what we will be looking at. We'll be looking at so many things. This training session is highly practical. Here, we'll be changing our physique. I mean, these are not just lofty theories that I'm telling you are nice. No. The training I deliver is to see changes. Changes I have tracked in myself, obviously, because I'm 43. Besides researching and consulting with many doctors outside of the mainstream, I'll tell you all about that. When I was 26, 27, I started to make certain decisions. What I mean is that I've checked this with many doctors, applied it to myself, and that's what's allowed me, between 18 and 43, to not age as I should have aged, because I was supposed to be bald, and so on and so forth. Everyone, the doctors, would say to me, "You will go bald." I'm not bald, and I'm 43. And that's all been internal work that I've done. Internal and external, as I'll explain, to ensure that didn't happen. And so many people believe that it's normal to age. They believe that it's normal to develop wrinkles. And that is all a myth. You will very clearly and explicitly see that it's simply not true. It's not true from the moment we can choose it, and it can be, and most symptoms of aging, as I say, can be reversed. Some will take a few weeks to process this, others months, and some up to 14 months. But no matter, it doesn't take much time per day, just 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, some days 20 minutes. It also depends on the intensity of what you choose to change. We're going to explain one crucial thing. What we'll be learning and what we'll see is that the belief, which, as I say, many others stem from, that time ages, we'll be slicing that belief up to discover, to consciously understand that it isn't real. And you'll see as much in various examples. You'll be able to experience it for yourself at home, meaning you will actually see it. It's not just me saying it, you will literally see it. By analyzing what causes aging, such as, for example, I won't go into it here, but it is very clear it is the interaction of information, and that is something I will be detailing. For many years now, we've known that everything that exists, everything you see around you, including your face, your visage, what you see of yourself, is not solid matter. What does that mean, it's not solid matter? That 99.9% is information in movement. It's energy. Energy is information in movement, and that's what we are. But, as I say, that was proven many years ago. However, they don't announce it on the evening news, right? So what you see of your face, arms, wrinkles, legs, are just groups of atoms tightly bundled together that appear like a solid. But they are constantly evolving because, as I said, it's information. Information that is constantly transforming itself. And how does it transform? Well, that's what we're going to see. It transforms, A, through beliefs or information systems that are already imprinted in our DNA. It happened and has passed from generation to generation, and there are imprinted programs. And the subconscious is going to execute them, like it or not. So, these beliefs that are imprinted in our DNA, these beliefs that we self-generate, because if right now we self-generate the belief that at 40 we'll be worn out, it's not just going to happen magically. No, our subconscious doesn't just record that info and start to execute physical programs for it to occur. The subconscious doesn't judge whether this is good or that is bad, if this is true or not true. Just as DNA doesn't judge, it just executes orders. Then there's a third factor, which is that this information that we absorb from outside, our energy or information, in contact and interaction with other energy, with other information, which might be food, it might be cosmetics, it might be the furniture you have around your home. Because I'm going to be speaking about furniture, clothes, I'll be discussing it all, radiation, radio frequencies, all that. Your interaction in contact with other information can lead to physical deterioration, something neutral, or even rejuvenation. That's what we're going to be studying. Each piece of information by itself, without interacting with other pieces. You can observe this as you think of something in the fridge, in the freezer, certain characteristics which no longer change. Why not? Because it has been isolated from contact with other information. So, when two pieces of information interact, what happens is that a deterioration might occur, and that is exactly what we're going to analyze. Once we understand why aging happens, what we're going to do is, in Module 2, what we cover is exactly all that subconscious information, all those programs that are in our DNA and which we've inherited or self-generated, which we've self-generated with our thoughts, with ideas. We can accept them, and then what happens is that we might deteriorate. And all of this is implementing a series of programs every day, all day at all times. In Module 2, I'll demonstrate how to deactivate those systems, how to transform them, change them, and not with ideas pulled out of thin air, but rather with a very clear, very specific method, a step-by-step how-to guide. It'll also cover where laziness comes from and why some people like doing sports. I'm not saying one thing is better than the other. I won't be judging anything, ever. I'll only be giving options. For example, imagine that somebody wants to do sports or change certain aspects of their life and then gets lazy and encounters a certain subconscious resistance. Because sometimes that's what it is, resistance. We want to do something, but we don't know how or don't understand how to get started. Well, I'll explain where that laziness stems from, why such subconscious resistance, and how, without pushing ourselves, without suffering, without enduring. Because this isn't about enduring. It's the opposite, in fact. It comes from a place of love and respect for ourselves to change what we want to change, not what society tells us to, but what we want and what we change. This way, everything is much easier, and from this point, we can deactivate all those systems to transform them. Nobody is condemned to live physically in a way they don't like. There is always a way and methods of making it happen. The third module is also very interesting, because in the third module, I'll be showing you with your own hands and using the muscles and bones in the face to restore your face. As I said, no creams or anything, just your hands, your muscles, and the bones of your face. There are major changes ahead, and let me tell you this. I've been doing this for many years, and I have obviously tracked people, some people who have wanted to share their experience with me, and there are major, major changes. No creams, no matter what the price, whether it's $500 or $1,000, can compete with NeoRejuvenation. We'll be using our own hands to activate, and that does produce clear effects in the first 30 days. Anyone who wants to see a difference in their double chin, eye bags, drooping eyebrows, can achieve great changes. And of course, anyone who practices this for a year will change their face completely. On a person who practices NeoRejuvenation over months, their face changes completely. In Module 4, I'll be dealing with the topic of food. I'm not telling anyone to lose weight, nor offering diet ideas, etc. I'm simply helping people to understand that external information, in the form of food we consume every day, is compatible with our DNA or not. And I'll explain where fat comes from, where flaccid skin comes from, and then we can make the decision to say, look, I didn't realize I'm consuming things that aren't compatible with me, and therein lies the problem. Well, I'll just stop eating this and substitute it for something else that is compatible with my DNA. But I'll also be precisely explaining exactly what is compatible with you, not what the TV says or what John says. I'll be giving you a tool to understand which external energy or which foods or which vitamins are compatible with your DNA, with Sophie's DNA, not with John's DNA, because everyone is different. That means that there are people, for example, for whom milk is minimally compatible. Then there are people who can more or less digest it and it doesn't affect them, or even has a positive effect. You will learn about yourself, your own makeup, your subconscious, and DNA right now, what is compatible and what not. This is very useful because ultimately, you know what is good for you and what isn't, not because someone tells you so, but because you understand yourself. In Module 5, I will analyze the whole topic of cosmetics, from the deepest point, the subconscious, which supposes 90% of the argument when it comes to aging or rejuvenation, to cosmetics that aren't very, well, let's not say they don't have any worth, but cosmetics that might cover 10% if they're used correctly. By using correctly, what I mean is that we use products that are compatible with our energy, because many people use creams, and as I said, the price is not important, and what they're doing is making things worse, and they don't even realize they are damaging themselves with a cosmetic product. And then they say, how can a cosmetic product damage me? You're damaging yourself. You're firstly deteriorating the epidermis, then the whole layer of the dermis. I will analyze this from an anthropological, scientific perspective, from many other perspectives too. And when you understand it all, you'll say, wow, now I understand why that did work and that didn't, and so on. And then, in Module 6, we'll look at the topic of furniture, clothes, because furniture and clothes are also sources of information. Some people have issues with relaxing, sleeping, concentrating. I'll discuss all that. Also, radio frequencies, a topic that worries a lot of people, 5G, 4G, whether it is really true beyond what the pro and contra groups say about the dangers and what we can do about it. The nice thing is being able to choose to understand it all and know how to transform whatever we choose within ourselves, and not from what the TV advert says or what the news says. Nope, just by ourselves. This has a huge impact on people's well-being. Some people think it's only superficial, but it isn't superficial at all. From the moment that from inside of us, part of what we are is often held captive by information systems, and removing those limits makes our essence emerge, along with our purest desires of how we'd like to express ourselves. That affects everything. When you're in great physical condition, you will have more energy, be more loving, calmer, more abundant, and you can build major changes in your life. Thus, we're not only talking about something physical, but also something that produces major changes at all levels. Well, thanks to everyone. See you soon.